Welcome to Your Speaking Matters, hosted by Rick and Carol Durling. Each episode of this podcast is intended to unravel the secrets of effective communication through engaging conversations, techniques, and tips. This is part 2 of a 3-part series demonstrating Pathways Project Navigation. In this episode, we are welcoming a special guest, John Fortin. John will be demonstrating how to navigate through projects and pathways. He will also be showing us how to mark a project complete. Welcome, John. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Rick. How are you, Carol?
Good, John. It's good to have you here with us.
It's wonderful to be here.
I think we're going to have a little bit of fun today. So what are you going to show us, John?
I'm going to show you how to navigate in the Pathways education system by entering through Basecamp. What you see on my screen right now is your home page. It is personal to each and every Toastmaster. And if you scroll down, you will see a bunch of tiles here. There's many of them. But today, we are just going to focus on the one of Go to Basecamp. So when you click on Go to Basecamp, you enter into the Pathways education system. And once it gets loaded up, in this first section here, Paths and Learning, which is where we're going to focus today, you'll see some active paths. Each of these is a path. Motivational strategies, team collaboration, leadership development. A couple of those are no longer available to us, but I have them as legacy programs. And I have engaging humor and story collection, and also, a little farther down, a completed path.
Congratulations on finishing a path.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, way to go, John.
Today we are going to select engaging humor. I had just recently purchased this path, so we are starting out fresh and new. And as you see a difference here, these paths are in progress. Engaging humor is just registered because I have not clicked on it yet. So let's get started.
All right, let's go.
Click on Engaging Humor. And sometimes it takes a little while to load all this content. There's a lot in here. So depending on your bandwidth speed, will depend on how long it takes to load up.
I like that explanation. It's not on the TI side, it's the network.
Yep. So this is where we want to click first. To start your path, you need to click on this. And you only need to do it once when you very first open your path. Let's get started.
Boy, it's been a while since I've started a path, so this is actually a good refresher for me as well.
It has for me too. It opened up to level 1 mastering fundamentals, but we're going to go back to the very beginning to the overview of the path. And anytime you're deep down in your path or you're in a project and you want to get back to the start, it's a great idea just to click the overview, and it brings you right back to the beginning.
Yeah, hope we're not in a rush here.
That's right. It's a really great place to, that overview is a great thing because it's like resetting your screen, which is really nice.
And on screen now you can see levels 1 through 5. Every single path in the Pathways program has 5 levels. Today we're going to just work in level 1. You have an option to expand all, but we just want to expand level 1, so I'm going to click on the down arrow, as some people call them.
And I have to date myself and point out that in the past, that was also called a twisty. Don't ask me why, but it does twist when you actually click on it. So.
Or carrot.
Or a carrot, or a chevron.
Or a chevron.
I call it a down arrow, but you know what? Now it's an up arrow. And if you click on it again, it'll close. Or collapse the content, but we'll open it back up. And the first thing we want to do is start on the level 1, Mastering Fundamentals, and each level has its own title. Of course, level 1, starting out, you want to master your fundamentals. And then you have your projects listed here. As you work through your projects, these check marks will change to a green check, signifying that you've completed it. As you can see, we're just starting this path, so there's nothing green in here. This top title selection will never change on you. Let's go in and load this, and everything will load up on the left side pane. And in here, Mastering Fundamentals, it gives you an explanation what it is. I'm not going to go and read everything. We have a lot to cover and only 20 minutes to do it. But I did want to point out there's some really good resources on here. It has all your project requirements, and these resources are great things to click on and explore, especially, oh, that's not in here, but these are things you want to click open. And don't be afraid to click on anything. You can't break it. And if you ever get stuck somewhere and you get lost, go back to the overview, start over.
Beautiful thing.
And here is an explanation of all the different requirements you have. But because today's focus is on going through a project, let's get working on a project. We're going to look at the icebreaker. So I'm going to go over here to my left side pane, and we are going to select the icebreaker project.
Well, this is not an excuse to go to the refrigerator, get some ice cubes in the glass.
As all the content is loading. Or if you have pets, you can pat them on the head, or because they're always looking for attention. I know mine do when I'm at home.
Of course.
Let's select on the very first selection here, the icebreaker. It just gives you a overview of what the icebreaker is about. And again, you have resources. And this was the one I wanted to point out, this icebreaker selection. I'm not going to click on it. All of these are great things to have, but this is a really good tool. Wouldn't you agree, Carol?
This is what helps you organize your speech.
Speech outline.
And that
Yes.
speech outline is great because I've used it for every speech I've ever given at Toastmasters. It's not just the icebreaker, and it helps you break down your speech and get organized.
It is an excellent resource. I've used it many times myself.
And there's also a video or a podcast that we've done about speech organization that would probably be a good companion to this.
Absolutely. There's two ways to navigate through your project. Right now, we're just going to select on the next tab here to move to the next section. And as you can see on the left-hand side, we've looked at this subject. It has got a green check mark now, and we are on to the next. And here is just an introduction. There are some areas for interactive. You want to click on your arrow or twisty, and you see it does twist when you click on it. So probably not a bad description. Well, I'd never heard that before. It's a cute description. I like it.
Stick with me. You'll find all kinds of useless information.
I don't know about useless, but interesting. Again, especially starting out, take the time to look through all this content, read it. There's a lot of good information here. We will go to the next section.
That's true of every project in Pathways. I find a lot of hints and tips that even as a seasoned speaker will give me one more thing to work on.
Absolutely. Here we have an introduction page. Again, something to read. But we are going to start using the left side navigation to work through this because we're not going to go to each section. because time just doesn't allow for it. But I want to hit on some highlights. And you can use this left side navigation at any time you want to skip around. But again, first time users, I would go in sequential order, because everything you learn builds on itself. In this area, the learning and the icebreaker, this section here has a area called what do you know about your strengths as a communicator, and what do you wonder about? And if I select on this add new item, it opens up a box for me to enter something. Oh, I missed a T there.
And while you're typing, I'll point out that anytime you enter in data in these fields, it's private to you. Toastmasters doesn't use it for anything. It's for your benefit and only your benefit.
Yep, and it's totally optional, but it is a good idea to add something in there. And the same thing on the I wonder side. Add in whatever you wonder about speech structure or how to give your first speech. You can add that content. And for this section, that information is automatically saved for you. We're going to go into part 2 of the icebreaker, and again, some interactive information. And we are going to go into, let's see, which section did I have selected next? You and your goals. In here, and this isn't true for all projects that you work on, but an icebreaker project and a few others, there's some really good video content. Take the 3 minutes and 38 seconds to watch it. It's really good content.
Helps you see an icebreaker in action. So, I mean, this is your opportunity to introduce yourself to the club, right? And
Yes.
so this is your first speech, so it's helpful to see what others have done. And these videos are great for that.
I will also point out, at the risk of using up some of the time that we have, that these videos also give some insight into other people's concerns, worries, nervousness about being able to get up in front of a group of people, and how rewarding it was to actually just do it. At the risk of citing a company that uses just do it.
We won't mention which company that is. We don't want to have to pay them any money.
That's right.
And here's just a quick picture of that speech outline worksheet. They have it here, another interactive section. You select on the plus marks, it'll open up some content. But we're going to scroll back up to our left side and select on prepare and present. Again, a lot of good content here. And some other more areas of interactive. Selecting on it opens up or collapses the content. Same with here, just a different way of interacting with it. Just some boxes, you open them, or I think you close on the next one and it closes. There you go. And here is another video. Remember, when you give your icebreaker speech, relax, breathe, and have fun.
Absolutely. Icebreaker is one of my favorite speeches, actually.
I've given a lot of them, and I look forward to actually hearing new Toastmasters, especially. I love evaluating them.
I love just listening to people tell us a little bit about themselves, or a story, whatever they want to give in the icebreaker. Yep.
All right, we're going to jump down here to review and apply. In this section is another area where you can add content. Again, this is strictly for your benefit. It's not mandatory, but it's helpful when you go back and you want to review what you've learned after you gave your speech. One thing different about this section is to save this content, you actually have to select save. And as Rick mentioned earlier, this content is not saved by Toastmasters. It's saved on your personal profile. So it's for your eyes only. Let's move on to complete your assignment. Now that you've read through the project, plan and prepare your speech. And this tells you about what you are expected to do. And it also has this wonderful tool here to check off when you move along in your project. Of course, I haven't worked this one in this particular path yet, but as I work it, I will be checking off each of these to help keep track of where I'm at.
The good news is this first speech is only 4 to 6 minutes, so it's not too hard to put together.
That's right, but as I remember as a new Toastmaster, 4 to 6 minutes seemed like a lot longer than it does now.
It was for me.
Right.
I'm going to add one comment on my part really quickly. And you're on the right screen to talk about the requirements to complete a given project. So just so everybody's aware, and we're going to cover this in a future podcast, the next one actually, you also have requirements for the level that you're on. And it looks very similar. You have a series of check marks, and that's where you are going to be asked at the level. You're going to be asked to do roles, perhaps speeches, and some other things. So the requirements for the project are different than for the level.
Mm-hmm. Good to point out. When we will touch on that, even though I know you're going to go into much more detail later on.
I love it.
So you've given your speech. You've got your evaluation. Now you want to complete your project. You would select complete your project. And you'll notice what I typed in earlier has populated. And there's now a section to enter something else in here.
While you're filling that in, I think of this as writing in the margins of your textbook, because definitely the material that's in each of these paths is your textbook for learning.
Mm-hmm.
This is your opportunity to enter in material that you think is important. Like, well, what do they mean by this? Let's go research it. Or I learned a lot on this particular project, and these are some of the key things. So there's a number of places here where you have that opportunity.
And it's an option. Do we mention that was optional?
We did.
Okay.
Yep.
But that's a good point to emphasize.
This is also an optional section, but highly recommended, because this information that you put in here, whatever your speech title is, I got a miskey there. There we go. You would select the date that you gave the speech. Let's just pick today. If you're in more than one club will show up. I'm just in the Macomb Motivators Toastmasters Club. If you know ahead of time who your evaluator will be, you can select that person or add it after you gave your speech. So as you see, it has all the names of the members in the Macomb Motivators Toastmasters Club. It also has resources to find your evaluation form. They are listed in alphabetical order, so if you know what your speech project is, in this case it's the icebreaker, you type in that name and you find it really quick. If you fill this out before you give your speech, you have the opportunity to email your evaluator, and you can write in this text box anything you want your evaluator to watch out for. Let's say you're interested in having improvement in eye contact, or you want to work on your vocal variety and it's not part of your project, and you want your evaluator to focus on that. You can fill that out, save an email. If you don't want it to go to your evaluator, or perhaps you gave the speech after, or you filled this out after you gave your speech, you definitely want to hit here, save log. This will save that information. I'm not going to click on it right now. I will do that when it's time for working on this project.
The advantage of filling this out is there's a log kept somewhere else in Pathways. All your speeches will be listed there, so it's a really good memory tracking system for you to have a list of your speeches, who evaluated them.
Thanks for pointing that out, Carol. I forgot about that. You may notice it says complete your project here, but your project is not yet quite complete. You actually have to go into the section called Before You Move On to your next project. Selecting on that will bring up the section that's where you actually complete your project. When you select on that, it will send a notification. No, it won't send a notification, that's only level.
It's only level.
That will complete your project.
It'll turn that check mark next to this project in the overview into green.
So we're going to go back to the overview actually and show you what we're talking about. Had we worked on this green check mark, if I would have selected it complete, it would be green right now. So we need to go back into Level 1, Mastering Fundamentals, and talk about something that Rick mentioned. In here is a section called Checklist and Completion, and this will be covered extensively in the next podcast. But today, just want to highlight that if you've worked on your icebreaker or if you already participated as a table topic speaker, you want to select these. And it's really important that you complete this function. Because without all these checked, you won't be able to complete a level. But that'll be covered in the next podcast.
I would make the comment at this point that you can think of keeping this up to date as housekeeping. Because you really don't want to be in a position where you want to complete your level and you got to scratch your head and go, where do I got to go check things? If you keep after this as you complete projects and roles and the other requirements in the level, when you get time to actually complete that level, all this will be done and you won't have to go scramble to figure out whether or not you finished it. It's a really useful place to do some housekeeping.
Yep, that's a great pro tip from a professional. Have I missed anything? Do I need to go over anything? How are we doing on time?
We're doing great on time. I think we've covered a lot. Carol, you have anything you want to add?
No, I think this is a lot to cover in one session.
This was a lot to cover. John, I think you've done an absolutely outstanding job explaining how to navigate through a project, what it takes to complete a project, and even giving us a kind of a little bit of a head start on the next podcast. So thank you very much for your insight into navigating through a Pathways project. That was absolutely awesome. Are we ready to hear that famous music that we use to close our session?
We are.
All right.
After we thank on TV.
Well, I'm going to do that. I definitely continue to be grateful for On TV and all that they do, not only to make it possible for these podcasts, but they also do an absolutely outstanding job as a community resource. They had a very successful recent food drive for a local food pantry, absolutely outstanding. So this is a group of people that are making these podcasts possible, and I cannot say enough to say thank you to all of them. Again, thank you, John, for being here.
It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate you being here. And to close this out, we will be doing another podcast. I think we are scheduled to do it next week, and it will be part 3. And we will be talking about how to complete not only a level, but also a path. And there are some secrets to that whole process that Carol, I think, is going to present. So we can look forward to seeing my lovely wife give us all these great pro tips for how to get these things done. So thank you for listening. let's play our famous music and wrap this up.